Let's have some final thoughts on what's next for Florida and the LGBTQ community. I ask all of y'all, what's next? What are we going to do next? All right, these are all facts. What's next? Anybody have any magic wands first off?
Well, I'll go. Thank you, Al, for that question, and thanks for hosting this tonight. What I think is next for our community here in Florida is a continued organizing effort coming out of what we've just seen with this legislative session. I think we'll see more conjoined efforts. I think we'll have more youth and more young people involved with us, and I think we'll be an even more impactful part of the 2022 election cycle. We were 6% of the electorate in Florida in 2020. Our people showed up and showed out, and I think we'll see that again because people are energized.
Do you agree with that, Nathan?
I do, but I think as we do the work, I think we're going to need to also be intentional and include those that are typically silent in the work. We talked about this earlier, and I think in this conversation, the T has been overshadowed by other critical issues, but not always allowed to be as vocal as they should be. I think you can look at the comments specifically at the governor's presser when signing this bill. You know, the comments about what's coming is about this, you know, supposed radical gender liberal ideology. And I expect there to be more coming in next session. We're seeing what is probably going to come in other states' legislative sessions right now. And if as a community we're going to fight collectively together as a unified front, then I think we need to really invest in understanding the needs of the most marginalized, which means looking at the trans community and at Black and Brown community members and saying, what do you need? Because my other concern, frankly, right now, between now and the election, which is critically important, a big part of my work is around getting folks to resources. We have folks that are hurting coming out of COVID disproportionately in our state because they're LGBTQ. Those statistics have come from DC.
Just to eat or have housing.
Just to eat and have housing. That's not going to change. And we talk about the violence community members face. Florida has consistently led in the reported murders of trans women year after year after year. So the reality of this political climate, when we look at the impacts today, right now, I'm worried about communities struggling. And
you know, it's such an amazing observation, because one of the things that the othering that is going on, you're not me, you're the other, and to create an enemy creates this philosophy, which is we are going to discriminate against you, and we're not going to provide food or housing resources or health care and ultimately, all of those negatives lead to violence.
Yes, and Senator Jones said it beautifully. They have said out loud this session what we've known, and they said it repeatedly. So if we're not clear, replay the remarks in committee and on the House and Senate floor.
Sure.
And that's
Michelle Rayner's comments tonight are electrifying to me. We are literally talking about our lives, literally.
Yes.
And you just point that out, because banging a drum loudly, like what Donald Trump did for 4 years, you bang that drum, and eventually people are going to follow you and fulfill what you're trying to bang the drum for. And that's what this legislative session does. Faye, final thoughts about where we're going?
We've got to keep the momentum going. We've got to keep on going. You know, yes, this bill is now a law. All right. Now, where do we go from here? Who knows? But we need to continue to unify, continue to fight. Tomorrow's Trans Visibility Day. Let's stand with our T. You know, because in our own group, in our own LGBTQIA, we're not completely unified as we should. If we were to unify tomorrow, trust me, they couldn't stand against us.
Yeah. Well, it's always important to frame groundbreaking conversations like this on the interest from the LGBTQ community. And I think we've all just said that in different ways. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT